Hi, John. So let's take a look at this newest essay today. Green energy. Let's see what you wrote. Experts worldwide have debated the benefits and drawbacks of renewable energy, constituting a growing share of the overall energy source. Some hold that they are less expensive, and more effective in ameliorating the environment, whereas others reckon the increasing reliance on them negatively impacts energy security. In my opinion, I strongly agree with the former notion, and this essay will examine both claims. Okay. I like this for the most part. I thought you did a nice job. There are a couple of areas that I thought were a little awkward. I thought this was a little weird of the overall energy source. I thought it should have just been a growing share of the overall energy supply would have been better, energy supply instead of energy source. And then you say they, but it's not a plural here. It's one thing, renewable energy. Yeah, I understand there are different types, there are different sources that create this pool known as renewable energy, but you haven't referred to it. So it's really best if you had said some hold that it is less expensive. And then I know a lot of students really love the word ameliorate as a synonym for improve. But the fact is that it has a very specific context and it creates very specific collocations. And so here, as soon as I saw it, I thought it felt a little awkward. So sometimes a simpler word is better. There are plenty of other opportunities for you to use high level vocabulary, high level collocations. This didn't really feel like such an appropriate fit for me. Okay, the rest of it is fine. So let's move on to your body paragraphs. There is ample evidence that renewable energy enables the global economy to fulfill its continuing growing energy consumption in a more sustainable way with lower costs. That's a beautiful sentence. That's good. Now, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. Fulfill, well, I don't know about this. Fulfill its continuing energy consumption. You don't fulfill a consumption, you fulfill a need, you fulfill a demand. So this is where you have to be careful with collocations. But you said global economy, which was good. Sustainable way, that was good. Growing energy consumption, that was good. So the one problem of this sentence was fulfill. Or actually, it was fulfill plus consumption. You should have said fulfill its energy demands. Previously, fossil fuels, toxic and polluted in nature, were heavily relied on to produce energy for years. The people and the planet, consequently, have been suffering from the consequences of using old means. It is a well-known fact that using green energy produces only negligible amounts of carbon waste. In addition, with numerous technological breakthroughs, green energy, such as wind, solar, and hydropower, what? There's something happening with your grammar here. In addition, green energy with numerous breakthroughs. Wait a minute. Here we go. In addition, with numerous technological breakthroughs, green energy, such as wind, solar, and hydropower, there we go, has become more affordable than before. All right, now I understood your grammar here. You can see it was a little complicated, but I got through it. Thus, can be concluded, it was said that these new forms of energy help the environment and all people as a whole. Okay, so I do want to look at this paragraph again as a whole. I'm not entirely convinced that it flowed together in a really very cohesive way. So let's look at it again. Here, you're talking about the positives, the fact that it reduces costs and is better for the environment. I already told you the problem I had with this sentence, that this didn't create a good collocation. And then, so what are we talking about? This is the positives. Okay. Previously, fossil fuels were relied on and we suffered. All right. And then you've got this. There was no link here. You needed something to show some sort of a contrast. To be totally honest with you, I don't love the fact that you were talking about the fossil fuels here, at least not in this way. So, it's like you went from how great renewable energy is, and then you talked about what used to happen for like 3 lines, okay, and how fossil fuels were terrible. And then with no link whatsoever, you went back to talking about green energy. So I didn't really love this progression of ideas. It didn't feel like it flowed very well. And so that's something I would like you to look at. Are there other ways to do it, better ways to do it? Yeah, I definitely think so. Um, so you could have said something like, in contrast to fossil fuels, which were damaging for both people and the planet, it is well known that green energy produces only negligible amounts of carbon waste. That would have been a great way of saying pretty much the same thing, but at least your ideas would have been better linked to each other. Okay? In addition, with numerous technological breakthroughs, green energy has become more affordable than ever before. Okay, what could you tell me about that? Could you have explored this idea? Why? Why are you telling me this? What are these breakthroughs? You mentioned this breakthrough, but you don't tell me anything about it. Okay, so you could have said something like, more energy is able to be harnessed than before. More energy is able to be stored than in the past. Therefore, there's more energy is created with less input, something like that, making it more affordable, more sustainable, more whatever. Okay. So these are the kinds of things I wanted to see in this paragraph that would have made it really a top-notch paragraph. All right, let's continue. The concerns, however, from the critics are not illegitimate. First and foremost, they claim that green energy is less reliable than traditional sources such as coal, oil, or even nuclear power. This is because those sources are unreliable in nature. Which sources? I'm confused now, because first you talked about green energy, then you talked about traditional sources, and then you say those sources. So what are you referring to? It's not clear here. I love that you're trying to use some good cohesion here, but you have to be careful that when you do this, that what you are referring to is 100% absolutely clear to your reader. So be careful. For example, hydropower turbines will be stopped if a severe drought occurs. Furthermore, a vast amount of land is required to install those huge quantities of solar panels to generate the amount of electricity currently produced by other traditional sources. In other words, this is one of the irrefutable advantages of conventional sources, which have supported almost all kinds of developments around the globe for years. Nevertheless, the benefits of renewable energies are paramount to the extent that all governments must enforce energy policies so that our offspring will not suffer anymore from pollution from power generation. All right, why are you now talking about this here, this nevertheless, this whole sentence? It really does not go with the entire progression of this paragraph. This paragraph is talking about energy security here. Okay, and that these green sources are a threat to energy security. And then all of a sudden, at the very end of the paragraph, you completely shift gears and you talk about, yeah, I know they're problematic, but hey, this is really important for the future. It just doesn't make sense to do this. Okay, and when you do something like this, you're not creating a central idea in your paragraph. And so I really want you to be careful about that. Okay, it would have been a lot more sensible. Let's see. So something more like, therefore, given the, uh, how can we say this? The resources required to harness renewable energy, uh, it is understandable why some people believe that conventional sources of power are more beneficial in the long run. So something like that. I'm not saying that 100%, but you get the idea. This would be wrapping up this entire paragraph, but this sentence definitely does not. It actually goes in the totally opposite direction. To conclude, although generating power using renewable energy may bring some threats to energy security, the advantages of those zero emission sources are indefensible and considerably beneficial to all generations, which is also my opinion on this pressing issue. Okay, I don't really feel you needed this. The way you stated this, it was clear that it was your opinion. So you could have left this out and it would have been, for me, a stronger finishing sentence here. Um, Personally, I'm never really a fan of the one sentence conclusion. For me, one sentence does not create a paragraph. So I would have preferred this sentence to stop here and then maybe leaving your reader with like a thought provoking prediction. So something like, because it's been all generations, full stop. It is predicted that green energy will continue to be utilized in the future in order to help mankind. Something like that would have been a much more appropriate way to end this. Okay. I like what you did. I think you did a really good job. So, despite my feedback and despite some of the critiques that you're hearing today, I thought it was a good job. But there were some things that I definitely thought were easy fixes for you to do even better in this essay. Okay. All right, so let's take a look now at your task one. We've got the map here. Let's see what you did with that map. So the given maps show the changes in an island after development programs. Overall, it is clear that the island has become more urbanized and commercialized as more facilities for human activities are found after the development. Also, fewer forests are now seen on the island. Okay, so this is okay, but there are a couple of major problems here. First of all, you're not showing an island after development programs. You're showing an island before and after. Okay, so it's really important. And I think a lot of people, when they do this, they focus just on the after without realizing that the before is here for a reason. They do want you to go into some detail about the before. You do need to refer to it. So it should be included in your introduction. So the given maps show an island both before and after development. That for me would have been ideal. And then I would not say urbanized. I don't see anything urban here at all. Yes, commercialized, but not urbanized. I mean, there are no factories, there's no office buildings, there's nothing that makes it urban. So careful with your vocabulary here. Essentially, what we're looking at is a place that has been built for tourism. All right, because you've got a hotel, you've got a mall, you've got a restaurant, you've got housing, and you've got some recreational facilities, and that's it. So it's very difficult to argue that urban is the right word here. All right. So an artificial lake is built in the eastern part of the island, while the forests in the northeast remain there. Footpaths have been established near the lake to connect the nearby housing zone, which was previously a green belt. Good. A vehicle track is linked from this zone to various types of building located in the center of the island. All high rises in the center are connected with vehicle tracks. Good. A pier is constructed on the southern part, well connected by a vehicle track to the central buildings. On the east side, a vast amount of accommodation blocks are built, and they are separated by a footpath connecting the center to the beach on the eastern coast. Before the development, forests were found in the northern part of those blocks. Okay. I like this. I thought you did a great job of highlighting, a great job of summarizing. Oh, that was really good. You made reference to this, so that was good. Would I have maybe liked it organized a little differently? Yeah, maybe a little bit. So you could have just highlighted a little more the before versus the after. Give you an idea what I'm talking about. I'm really talking about the language of comparison here. So you said here an artificial lake, it should have really ideally been an artificial lake was built in the eastern part of the island where previously nothing had stood. Okay. The forests, in contrast, the forests that existed in the northeast continued to remain. Now this was good, which was previously a green belt. That was perfect. Let's see. So that's a kind of thing that I wanted. Maybe just like a little bit of this language of comparison and contrast, like showing, like for example, did you mention the beach at all? Oh yeah, you did. Okay. So just saying, you could have said, for example, um, All right, let me backtrack a second. Now, what you did is you took your two detailed paragraphs and you basically started from the east and then you went to the west. And okay, that's clearly one way to do it. There are other ways to do this, though, however. One way to do it is to talk about what existed on the island previously, okay? And then have a second paragraph showing what changed over time. So that's a nice, clear way to do it. Or you, let's see, how did you separate this? Up here. Okay, so yeah, you kind of split the island down the middle, which is okay. But again, I really wanted you to give enough time and um, enough attention to the before because it's there for a reason. It's not just there for reference. It's there because they want you to compare it, and that's what this is all about. Okay, without doing that, you're going to miss some potential points for task achievement. But on the whole, it was a good attempt. So great job. I believe this is our last set together. So you're pretty much you're done with the essay correction set from this package. I would like to invite you to sign up for more. There are other sets that we can continue to do together if you would like to continue working with us. I do think that there's some room for you to continue to improve. So if you've enjoyed this and you want to continue working with us, and definitely sign up for more essays with us. I think that would be great. It would, give us more opportunity to work together. So hopefully we'll see more essays from you. I look forward to it, and I want to wish you tons and tons of luck.